Well, we're going to check the bees. It's been 2 weeks since we checked them. Fixing to check them, and it's actually a sunny day today. It's been overcast all morning and down in the 60s last night. It's supposed to get to like 71 today. And anyway, I'm down here checking the bees. It's about midday. They're working real good. I'm gonna check the weakest hive here first, like I've been doing. Well, they're bringing in the pollen. I've just seen pollen on a couple of bees' legs coming in. You can see the difference in this hive, the amount coming in, and that one over there. That double deep over there, it's booming with bees. This one here, a lot less. So this is the one that wasn't taking off so much. Let's go in and see how they're doing. Now that smoke is going to be right in my face if I leave it there. Set it over there. Let's see what we got here. Well, they've ate the sugar water. I didn't see any hive beetles under this. And about the hive beetles, I figured out one thing I figured about it. I think seemed like we had less hive beetles last time. Well, I know we did, but I think the ones that we do have sometimes can get up in this, and then the bees, because this is on that wood and this is raised a little bit, there's a little bit of a gap there. They can squeeze up in where the bees can't even get to them, and I think that's what they do. Let's see what we got here. Don't see any hive beetles on the top. That's a good sign. We'll check that beetle gel in a minute. All right, I'm going to take this outside frame with the beetle gel up first. There's just nothing on it. Yeah, there's some in there. It's working. Set it right out here to the side. This stand that I'm got made, the way it is, I've got room to put a couple of frames outside here if I need to. At least one to put it out of the way. Nothing on that. That's not a good sign. I'm gonna go ahead and move that out of the way a little more because it seems like they pile up there. If they come here and that board's in the way up there, it confuses them a little. See what we got here. See if they're finally building up. This is the third frame over. They're working pretty good on that side. Okay, just nectar on that side from what I can see. All right, here we go. I don't know. We'll have to look real good. I don't see eggs down in that. Got pollen. Some empty cells with no eggs in them. They could have just hatched out. And she hadn't got back over here to lay them up yet. You can see this band of honey right along the top. I really have not been happy with this hive so far. It seems like they're just not taking off like I thought they would. We'll judge them by that other one in a minute, and we'll see if she's got eggs in here and what kind of pattern there is laid up in it. Okay, there's capped brood. Eggs over here on the side where they've hatched out. So that's a good pattern. Yeah, she's got a good pattern. It's laid up good right there. I think they're just not taking off as quick as the other one. Maybe they just go with a smaller cluster. When you order these packages, I guess there could be a good bit of variation. They're supposed to be Italians, which I believe they are. That's fine, but you know, genetically, you're just getting them from somewhere. I noticed years ago when I had bees several years ago that out of the same queens and stuff, you'd hatch out new hives, you know, put some frames over, split them, hatch out queens in there, and that all just be different temperament and everything, and that was coming right out of the same stock. So she does have a good pattern. They were slow to take off, but they got some honey stored up in there. They're bringing in nectar. And like I said, I haven't been down here in a couple of weeks. There's more brood. I'm gonna just scan for the queen. I wasn't looking real hard for her. I'm just scanning. See down here, there's some that's hatched out. There's eggs in some of them where she's laid it back up. Some cat brood around there. She's doing all right. It's taking off a little slow. I keep saying that. Now this one here, there's eggs in them. At least some of the empty ones. The ones I could see. I'm looking for the queen. Not seeing her so far. I don't have to see her, but it'd be nice. I haven't seen her in a while. I didn't find the queen the last couple of times. See on that bridge comb there, they got some brood. Might be drone brood. If they do, that's all right. All right, let's just keep working across there. I want to check this whole hive. Almost down just a little bit. I got one attacking me a little bit here. Of course, it can't get me, but I'm trying to be real easy with this frame too. Hadn't seen any emergency or supersedure cells of any kind, and I've seen eggs, so I'm sure the queen's in there, or she has been in the last couple of days. Don't see any sign that they would have swarmed. They're not built up enough really that they should have swarmed yet. They're really have to build up more before I would think that even contemplate swarming. Look at that brood pattern, that's good. And she's went back and filled up ones that had some out of them. There again, I'm just not seeing the queen. Sometimes I go back and watch the video and I'll just see her on the video somewhere. Eggs in some of these outside ones there too. So she's laying, when they're hatching out, she's laying. They don't seem to be drawing out the comb like I want them to, but I've been feeding them. I don't know whether to even keep feeding them this time of year it is. There's all kind of stuff blooming, and there's pretty good nectar flow on right now. At least it has been. Okay, that one's a frame of brood that's hatched out before, but there's some larvae and stuff down in there, eggs in some of them. Yeah, different stages. There again, I'm not seeing the queen. Let's see about this other side. So they're hatching some stuff. Yeah, this one here's laid up. Yeah, there's eggs in that. There she is. Tear at my thumb. There's the queen right at my thumb there. The end of my thumb. Yeah, and this one's laid up. I thought she might be right around there somewhere. These bees are getting a little bit Nancy. Yeah, she's laying all right. Like I said on the last video when I checked these, she's laying pretty good as far as the brood patterns and stuff, but they're just slow to build up compared to my other one. There's a patch of brood that she's got laid up in there. They'll take off when all this brood, I mean, it's starting to hatch out now, and when it does, they should really take off. The only thing that's concerning me a little bit is they packed a good little bit of honey around some of this. They don't have a lot of comb made. Okay, this is hatched out. She's not got over here yet. She's on that other frame. I guess what I'd say is, would I want it to be a little better? I'd want them to build up a little faster. But she does lay it up pretty good. All right, so here's the outside frame. It's half done. And then this frame over here was half done. So we're going to count it one. We're going to just count this one full and the rest of them plumb full. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're at 7 frames. Now normally when you get about 7 frames, you start thinking about putting you another box on top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 7 frames. Put this one back in. There's a bee. Something happened to that one. So I need to start thinking about getting another box on top. The thing that's concerning to me is how slow they've been about drawing the comb out. I should probably just keep feeding these. Because they need to draw that comb out, and putting that 1-to-1 on there will help them. So anyway, there you have it on them. I'll put this on back. All right, get out of there. Can't be in there. You'll be trapped, because I'll put that bottle back in there. All right, so for now, that's what we got. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that off. There's nothing in it, but I'm gonna plug that hole. If that one's got something in it, I'll probably switch it over to here, because I don't think them over there need it. I'm gonna leave that right like that now. I'm still gonna persevere with this queen and this hive. I might ask some advice if I get by the bee shop. Might just ask for some advice from the people. Tell them how much I've built up or not built up or whatever. But she's doing a pretty good pattern. They got their 7 frames. Didn't see any hive beetles in here this time. And they don't have any sugar water either. I'm gonna just go ahead and get some on it. They're eating it. And even though I think there's a pretty good flow on, trying to build these hives up, I want to make sure they got everything they could need to draw comb out quick. Let's look for beetles. None. Okay, so the hive beetles, just from what I'm seeing, that's a little bit better now. Try to shake that off. Now that part seems to be a little better now about the hive beetles. All right. Let me get my smoker. It's going to put a little bit of smoke over the top of them. And then we're going to inspect these, see what we have in here. All right. Couple of beetles at what, 3? One on the other side there. So about 4. Okay. Set this frame down here. start in. Okay, well they've drawed that side out decent, got nectar in it. So already just the second frame in, at least from this side, and we have some action on that frame. But gotta remember back when we started this top box here out that I did put a frame from the bottom just to get them started. I put it right here. This was a frame that come from the bottom before. That's just pure nectar right there. It's not laid up at all. That one too, pure nectar. Okay. Like I said, we've had a flow on, and depending on what I see in this box, what I'll decide to do. If I need to come back down here, I don't have one with me, but if I need to put a super on this or what I'd need to do. I just had time to run down here and check it real quick. Okay, that frame's got larvae around the outside of where that cap brood is. So she's laid it up in the middle and on out. I'm just there again, I'm looking for this queen just because I like to see her if I can, but it's no big deal. Not as easy to see the eggs and everything on this yellow foundation, but I just decided to get some of the yellow the last time I was in there. Bees like it fine. That's got larvae in the middle there. You can see the larvae down in there. They're coming along fine. The queen's been up in this box laying pretty good, which is exactly what I expected. Now I'm just methodically going through these. I'm doing a real in-depth inspection today. I may go into the bottom box on this and just see what's up down there. I hadn't been in the bottom box in a few weeks. This here's larvae. I don't see the queen, but I don't expect to see her on this frame because there's no eggs on there, so she's probably somewhere that, yeah, that's laid up. Queen's probably somewhere with empty cells putting eggs in them. So when I find eggs, I'll start looking for the queen harder. I'm still looking for her now, but yeah, that's a pretty good pattern right there. And yeah, this queen's doing good. I don't have any worries about this hive at all. But I'm going to keep going. I think I'm going to have to put some more room on these. Look at that frame of brood. Yeah, that's a solid frame of brood there. Really good. See how it's laid all the way. Just a very little band of honey right around there, and the rest of it just brood clear to the bottom. Pretty much the same way on that one. Nice, real good. When all that hatches out, that's going to be a lot of bees. Yeah, I may need to go ahead and think about getting me a super on top of this, at least one. Oh yeah, with these frames of brood that's going to hatch out in a few days, this hive's going to explode. Look at that. Big old full frames of brood. Might as well go all the way through. There you go. They're starting to backfill that with some nectar and stuff there. It's honey all on top. Look like they've had brood in there, and see, that's some cap brood there that's going to hatch on out, and it looks like they're backfilling it now. Now that one's not all the way drawed out. Go ahead and finish out here. Looks like I'm getting over to the frames that they hadn't worked too much yet. Yep, there's nothing on that side, so, and that one's empty. So let's see here in the top box. This is empty on that side, and they're working some on that. So we'll say a half on that one and a half on that one. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this one's got 7 already in their top box. So that means we got to make a decision. The decision is, are we trying to build up a big old mega hive with like triple deep brood box and everything, or are we just going to do a double deep and let them make honey up in a super? And this is early in the year. I don't want to let them swarm or anything. Now I'm going to look in the bottom box. So here goes. Crack that box off there. And this could be heavy. Yeah, it is. I'm just setting that like that. So I got the least amount touching the board. Give this bottom box a little bit of smoke. They're pretty calm. That hive over there got a little more torqued at me. A little bit more worked up about me working them. Now, something I see here. This is just plumb empty. So what I've done is I put that box on the top and pulled up a couple of frames, and then they've just abandoned these frames right here on this side. Yep, this one's just worked a little bit. That other one don't have nothing on it, so we're gonna have to deal with that somehow. I gotta figure out what to do about that, because I want them to work it. Yeah, that's nectar. I want them to work the whole box, but I wanted to give them room and not let them get in the swarm mode or anything. And I'm looking, one reason I wanted to go ahead and do this whole box is kind of look on the bottom of these bottom frames and make sure they don't have any kind of queen cells. You know, like they're trying to swarm or something. So far, nothing. I haven't seen any. See, they got a lot more room they could actually build in this bottom box. I may checkerboard that a little bit. I might put some of them frames inside, because I feel like if I put them frames in here in the middle, that they'll be more likely to work them. Now here we go. The queen could be on this frame. There's eggs at the very top up there where it's empty. There's some eggs in these. Let's look for the queen. I want to be real gentle. This is getting into where she should be based on the eggs in the cells there. I don't see her. But like I said, we are getting toward where there's more eggs. Yeah, that's laid up. She's been laying hard on this one. All right, I don't see her. Just been a while since I saw my queens, and I'm just thinking that I want to see them if I can. And I'll repeat what I said a while ago. I'm looking at these frames and making sure there's no swarm cells on the bottom. I know I've seen on YouTube in places where some people just tip the whole box back and just look under it so they don't have to pull everyone out, but I wanted to know what's going on in here. I hadn't done this in-depth of inspection in a couple of weeks. It's a new hive, Okay, right here they're hatching out. She's got a few of them laid up. I wouldn't be surprised. I would have not have been surprised if she's right on that frame, but I don't see her. Same here. This is a frame where they've hatched out and she's starting to lay it up again. Yeah, she should be somewhere around here. See, that's just brace comb, or not brace comb, but just like I call it bridge comb. They just put that comb down there, I think, just to crawl up from the bottom easier. That's my theory on it. Still haven't seen the queen, but she's in there. I've seen eggs. The smoker's taking a second to get it going. There. I don't like to smoke the bees a whole lot, but I do it just enough to calm them down, and I don't try to blow the smoke down in between the frames. I just kind of let it waft, just blow it over them. Okay. I'm not seeing, they're hatching out of here, and then there's pollen all around, but I'm not seeing that this is filled back in. I thought the queen would have been on that last couple of frames. She might have run off somewhere ahead or something, but she's in there, I know. This hive has not swarmed because there's no evidence. If it had swarmed, there'd be some old queen cells down at the bottom where they'd hatched out some queens and then swarmed. There's no evidence of that at all so far. No evidence that they're even thinking about it, and that's good. Okay, here we go. Okay, this was one of the frames that I put in empty. This was because it's got the yellow foundation, so I put this down when I pulled another frame up from the bottom, and I put this in the place of it. They've drawed it out, and it looks to me like they've hatched a good bit of brood out of the middle of it. I don't see any more eggs in there right now, so this is just hatched. She hadn't even got to it to lay it up yet. They're piling up on that side a little bit. I wonder, could be over there. Yeah, I don't see her. I've went this far, I'm just gonna check every frame in the whole box. That's the only thing about going double deeps and stuff. It's a lot more to check, but I've always run double deep, and I've never really run a single deep, but people do it a lot. I've thought about trying it. Yeah, these are just hatching out, and she hadn't even got over here yet to lay them up. I think she was over there somewhere more toward that, where all them eggs was at. Oh, this got eggs. Oh, there she is. She's right here. Right at the end of my thumb right there is a big old fat queen. Big old brown one. There she is. She's making her way around, looking, doing her thing like we ain't even here. All right, let me ease this back down. I know where she is. Let's ease this back down. All right, so there she was. She's fine. This is mostly nectar on the outside, nectar, and hardly nothing. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some checkerboarding. All right, I'm gonna put that over there. This one here's mostly empty. I'm gonna put it in a little bit just to see if that'll make a difference on them pulling it out. I'm gonna ease that while I'm looking, making sure queen ain't in the middle. Okay, push these over. Okay, then I got another frame here that's, they're working on that side, but nothing on that side. I'm keeping the same orientation, but you know what? I'm just gonna plug that in here. I think they'll just pull it out better if I just put it in the middle. They won't like that emptiness being in there. So if they're not gonna come out and work it, I'm gonna try to get them to come out and work it. Now make sure this is a brood frame. You wanna do that. I know where the queen is. See, that's a brood frame, so I did that because I don't want to pull a honey frame out and pull it out way over here. There's that one. This one's decent, but this frame's not. Let me put it in there a little ways. Tell you what, I'm gonna put it right here. So I'm gonna have two frames kind of right in there that, no, I don't want to do that. The reason is because of what I said about honey frames. These are brood frames here. So if I just put these in the middle, I know they're probably gonna draw it out to the right depth and not draw overly wide combs on either one. So you see where they're at, kind of clustering up over there where the queen is. They still got some frames in this bottom they can pull out. I didn't count. But it looks like, for the most part, maybe, I want to say, maybe, let's see, I'll try to count. See, that one had, I put that one in the middle, one more in the middle, and one more. So I put 3 frames in that wasn't drawed out real good. So they're probably, this one's probably 80% full on the bottom. The top was 70% full. And what I mean is, like frames of bees, they still got some room. But you know, if they're not going to pull out that, try to just smoke them down. I'm fixing to put that other box on. I don't want to squish any bees. What I was saying was that I think they got some room. Still working these, but I don't know. I don't know if I should put another box on. I think I'm going to do up here a little bit of what I did down there. Now that I've looked all through, this hive's fixing to take off more too. And you see here they're drawing this frame out. Just going to put it over a couple of frames and see if they'll just draw it out over here better. And on this side there was some, let me see here. They're getting mad. They can just get mad. I gotta work them. All I mean by getting mad is they're buzzing a little bit. Nothing to worry about. Okay, and then I got another, that frame with the beetle gel on it. I'll move it. Just gonna move it to right here. And okay, that's got nothing on that. That one I've already pulled that in. just checkerboarding this stuff so that I'm trying to get them to draw the comb out. They're not wanting to go to these outside frames. Now, I've heard about that being a thing on 10 frame as opposed to 8 frame, that on the 8 frame hive they'll work the outsides a little better. I don't know, but it seems like that a little bit. I've had 8 frame stuff before and I just got a couple of extra frames, and see here I had them in the bottom box working the middle and the outside was still empty, but I didn't want them to run out of room, so I plugged this box in here. I put it on top, put some frames in out of there, and they've just moved up and left the outside frames pretty much empty. So I think by moving them in, this is already drawed out. On the outsides is pretty much drawed out. This one here is not all the way drawed out, but they're working on that side. So by putting some of them frames inside, splitting this brood nest a little bit and stuff, they got enough bees, keep it warm and all that. I'm not worried about that at all. But this hive's fixing to take off. So by doing that, they'll draw out the last hives. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I'm just going to close the hive up, and I hope you enjoyed the video.